If you're new to the channel, welcome. I recently bought this abandoned homestead, which I'm bringing back to life. In this video, I just show some of the projects and things that I did to make it through my first winter here. Prior to this, I had been living in my car, so this will be a nice change. I have the ability to connect to the grid for electricity, but I chose not to. My goal is for this property to become self-sufficient. And there's a lot of advantages to not being dependent on an energy company, and it definitely saves money in the long run. It's amazing how simple and accessible solar inverters have become. This is an Ecoflow Delta Pro Ultra. This room is going to be my bedroom. It faces the south, so it's got a good view, and the sun will heat it up a little bit in the winter. For this winter, I'm going to keep things simple. I'm just going to use some plastic sheets to close off the door and only try and heat one room. I've been through winters without any heating before, so compared to that, this will be luxury. During the day, I'm going to heat with an electric room heater powered by solar. And during the night, I'm going to use a diesel heater. Eventually, though, I plan on increasing the size of my solar system so I can do all of my heating with electric heat pumps. I also have a wood stove in the basement, but I don't really have the time to restore it and reline the chimney and get it working for winter. And lastly, I have an Arctic sleeping bag and a US military cot. Should be reading 120 volts, but I'm getting much less in two of these plugs. $42. Only this one, only one of them is giving me 120. the water filter industry is always trying to sell you a bigger, more complicated, and more expensive system than you actually need. It's actually really simple to make an effective whole home water filter. I made this for 30 bucks, and at the moment I'm just using it on the end of a hose. You can customize it to your water conditions, whether you're on a well or city water, and you can always add more filter stages later if you want. I got a bunch of cracked 2x12s for free, which I'm using for scrap wood whenever I need it. If you've ever wondered if there was a more efficient way to get wood plugs out of hole saws, this is it. This is going to be the hole for the diesel heater to vent out the window. So I have to get the diesel heater at the same elevation as the window, so I'm making a wood stand for it. The good thing about an abandoned homestead is you kind of have your own scrapyard. I'm just cutting an electrical plug off of an old appliance, so I can use it for the AC adapter. took me a bit of time to design the solar mount in my head. They turned out really well, but I still have to do a few tweaks to them. The ignition and the engine were frozen, so I had to heat them up with a heat gun. The thing about solar panels in the winter is it really depends on the snow conditions and the angle of the solar panels as to whether snow sticks on them or not. Sometimes it blows right off, other times it will stick, and the steeper the angle, the less likely it is to stick. The humidity level when it snows also determines how likely it is to stick. I didn't put my winter tires on this year, and of course I got stuck in my driveway. So I ordered some traction pads. I couldn't really get them underneath of the tire very well, so they didn't really work. I think they would have worked a lot better in different snow conditions or in mud. That's okay though, I have really great neighbors who came and pulled me out. Over the last 2 years, I lost a lot of muscle mass due to life circumstances, and now I feel like I can start working out again and regain the muscle mass. When drilling a hole, it's best to go through most of the way on one side, and then once the pilot bit punches through, come back in the opposite direction to avoid tear out. I'm just making sure that each screw goes into its own sealing joist, and you can tell where the sealing joists are by the rows of nails in the ceiling.